Good morning, class. Welcome to Icon Education. Today we are going to practice chapter 11 Photosynthesis in Higher Plants Exemplar Questions. Question number 1. Which metal ion is a constituent of chlorophyll? Which metal ion is a constituent of chlorophyll? So if you look at the option iron, copper, magnesium, zinc, we know that magnesium, it is the essential metal ion which is the constituent of chlorophyll because it is the site at the center of the porphyrin ring structure and it facilitates the light absorption during photosynthesis, giving the plant their green color. So the metal ion which is a constituent of chlorophyll is magnesium. Question number 2. Which pigment acts directly to convert light energy to chemical energy? Under the option chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A in the photosystem, it is present in the reaction center and chlorophyll A directly acts to convert the light energy to chemical energy. Other rest of the three pigment molecules are called accessory pigments. They trap the solar energy and pass it to the chlorophyll A which is present in the reaction center. So option A is the correct answer. Question number 3. Which range of wavelength in nanometer is called photosynthetically active radiation, PAR? If you look at the range, we know that the range from 400 to 700 nanometer, which is called as visible light. It is the range in which the photosynthetically active radiation. Okay. Question number 4. Which light range is least effective in photosynthesis? Which light ray is least effective in photosynthesis? If you look at the option blue, green, red and violet, we know that the green light is least effective in photosynthesis. So the correct option is option B, green. Green light is least effective light ray for photosynthesis. Why? Why? Because chlorophyll is the primary pigment in plants which reflects and transmit green light rather than absorbing it. Okay. This wavelength provides the least energy for photosynthetic process. And which is the most effective? Red and blue are most effective. Green is least effective. Red and blue are most effective. Question number 5. Chemosynthetic bacteria obtain energy from? The word chemo refers to. Chemosynthetic bacteria also come under autotrophic bacteria. The only difference between the photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic is where from they obtain energy. The photoautotrophic bacteria obtain energy from sunlight and the chemosynthetic bacteria, they obtain energy from the inorganic substances. The correct answer is option D, inorganic chemicals. The source of carbon is same for both of them. Photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic, the source of carbon is carbon dioxide. Only difference is the source of energy. The source of energy in photoautotrophs is light and chemoautotroph is inorganic chemicals. Question number 6. Energy required for ATP synthesis in PS2 comes from? energy required for ATP synthesis in PS2 comes from? So it comes from the proton gradient. Energy required for ATP synthesis in PS2 comes from the proton gradient. Proton gradient means H plus gradient, which is happening across the thylakoid membrane. Okay, in the lumen, the H plus concentration is more when compared to the stroma. Okay, so this gradient is established by light driven reaction, including the photolysis of water and electron transport through the cytochrome B6 F complex driving ATP synthase. So energy required for ATP synthesis in PS2 comes from proton gradient. Question number 7. During light reaction in photosynthesis, the following are formed. Okay, the same question can be asked as the end products of light reaction are. So end product of light reaction are ATP, NADPH2 and oxygen. So it is there in option C, that is ATP, hydrogen donor. NADPH2 can also act as a hydrogen donor, and oxygen. These are formed at the end of the light reaction. Okay. Sugar is formed during dark reaction. Here also sugar is formed during dark reaction. And here just hydrogen is written. It's not the hydrogen which is formed, it is the hydrogen donor, that is NADPH2 is formed. Question number 8. The dark reaction in photosynthesis is so called because. The dark reaction of photosynthesis is so called because. Why it is called the dark reaction? Because it does not depend on light energy. It is a light independent reaction. Okay, it is a light independent reaction. It depends upon the product of light reaction, but does not directly depends upon the light energy. That is why it is called as dark reaction or light independent reaction. So option B is a correct answer. Question number 9. PEP is primarily carbon dioxide acceptor in. PEP is phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate is a primary carbon dioxide acceptor in the C4 plants. In the C4 plants. Question number 10. Splitting of water is associated with. We know that this is the thylakoid membrane. So PS2 is situated here on the inner surface of the thylakoid membrane. Okay, so PS2 is associated with splitting of light. So if you look at the option PS1, no. Lumen of thylakoid, no. Both PS1 and PS2, no. Inner surface of thylakoid membrane, this is yes, because the PS2 is present at the inner surface of thylakoid membrane. So option D is correct, inner surface of the thylakoid membrane. So splitting of water molecule is associated with PS2. Question number 11. The correct sequence of flow of electrons in light reaction is. So if you look at the option, in all the options, it is starting with PS1. See here, option B, C and D, the starting is PS1. So correct sequence of flow of electrons in the light reaction is starting from PS2. PS2, then plastoquinone, then cytochromes, then PS1, then ferredoxin. Okay, so correct option is option A. This is the sequence. So splitting of water molecule constantly supply electrons to PS2. The electrons get excited and it is passed on to the primary electron acceptor, that is pheophytin. From the pheophytin, the electron pass on to plastoquinone, then from plastoquinone to cytochrome B6F complex, then to plastocyanin, from plastocyanin to PS1, from PS1 to ferredoxin, then finally it is used up by the NAD to form NADH2. NADP will form NADPH2. Okay, so this is the flow of electrons during the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Question number 12. The enzyme that is not found in C3 plant is RuBP carboxylase. This you will see as a primary electron carbon dioxide acceptor. PEP, okay, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. This enzyme is not present in the C3 plant. It is there in the C4 plant. NADP reductase, this is there. ATP synthase, this enzyme is also present. Question number 13. The reaction that is responsible for the primary fixation of carbon dioxide is catalyzed by. So if you look at the question, student, they are not asking C3 or C4. They are just asking you primary fixation of carbon dioxide is catalyzed by. So we know that both RuBP carboxylase and PEP carboxylase both help in the primary fixation of carbon dioxide. In the C3 plants, RuBP, ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase, is the primary carbon dioxide acceptor, and in C4 plant, PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase, is the primary carbon dioxide acceptor. So option C, both RuBP carboxylase and PEP carboxylase is the correct answer. Question number 14. When carbon dioxide is added to PEP, the first stable product synthesized is. So the question asked here is, when PEP carbon dioxide is added, PEP is a 3-carbon organic compound. When carbon dioxide is added to it, it will become a 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. So option D, oxaloacetate, is the correct option. So with this, we finish the exemplar questions of chapter 11, photosynthesis in higher plants. Hope you find it easy. Thank you.